Club's deuce. Follow path. In the future, you've already followed the path through the mansion that Droog told you to. Trace followed Droog's past trail even further back, but found a much fresher trail crossing his path. Looks like this little guy is talking on the radio. Says something about how he'll be right there once he gives Droog a hand. Trace decides he'll trace this guy for a while, see what he's up to, and then mess with him, of course. In the present, you talk on the radio. Say something about how you'll be right there once you give Droog a hand. Diamond's Droog. Take a good look around the new room you're in. Looks like the trail of blood ends here, or originates. Whatever. Something went down here in the past, or is about to go down in the future. You know what? Never mind. 21 clocks destroyed, apparently. Hang on. There's a tooth on the floor. You know that tooth. You've felt its bite before. Finn was here, and judging by the forensics of the scene, the angle it hit the floor, the direction of the blood splatters, and how dry the blood is, you think you know exactly what he's about to pull, or more specifically, what he's about to already have pulled. Finn always knows where you're going. He's followed your future trail here. He likes to mess with you from the past. Trouble is, he tips you off to where he's been. This time you're ready. Wait for it. Wait. Now! Predestined bullet holes are convenient. Gives you something to aim for. 7 out of 21 clocks redestroyed. Spade slick. Rematerialize. That doesn't make any sense. You never went anywhere. Dai realizes there is a cost to settling the score with you in this way. The cost is having to live in a desert amidst the ruins of a dead civilization for the rest of his life. He thinks that's stupid, so he pulls your pin. Help the green man live up to his name. Take Voodoo Doll. You grab his voodoo doll and stick his pin in there for good measure. Might as well keep track of everyone you've offed this way, too. Not that you intend to use its power to settle your score. What's the point if you're not going to get your hands dirty? Still, it might come in handy down the road. Lord English is supposedly indestructible. He's rumored to be killable only through a number of glitches and exploits in space-time. The doll may ultimately help you work the system if it comes to that. Clocks. Destroy them. 29 clocks destroyed. 5 green torsos dead. Diamond's Droog. Follow blood trail downstairs and finish him off. Problem with that is, he'll just see your future trail following him, and that'll be nothing but a loud invitation for him to mess with you some more. Besides, better to leave him alive. You think you know where he'll lead you to. Just got to be a little more subtle about tracing his blood trail. Keep your future trail out of his line of sight. Spade Slick. Return to being Hart's boxcars. Spade Slick cannot return to being Hart's boxcars because obviously Diamond's Droog is too busy being Club's deuce. You just watched Trace throw a line into thin air for some reason. That guy's awfully silly. He then skulks off somewhere. You don't realize he's following Droog's past trail through the mansion until he gets to the point where it intersects with your trail, at which point he'll start following you. But we all realized it because it's obvious and couldn't possibly be more clear. Implement nefarious scheme. You follow Droog's simple instructions. So simple even a forgetful nincompoop like you can remember. There's a blood trail on the floor that goes in a different direction than Trace went. You decide to follow it because that sounds like a really good idea for you. If there was something you were supposed to do after helping out Droog, you'll be damned if you remember what it was. Trace catches up to where you were, but you're gone already. All he sees is the long, gross, rubbery arm of your past trail stretching through the room. He finds his comrade tied up with the stretchy rubber arms of a small man, but there is nothing gross or unpalatable about that in the least. Doze unslows himself and begins mumbling something feverishly about his hat. Seven green torsos dead. 107 clocks destroyed. Finn makes his way through the mansion to get some help. He wonders where this little guy is going. Deuce's future trail is headed in the same direction he's headed by sheer coincidence. Finn decides to follow him for a bit, keep an eye on him. For as long as Deuce's path matches his, that is. There's pretty much no chance he's headed to the same place, though. That would be statistically improbable. He's got no idea what these other goons are up to here. Funny, their future trails end here. He's not going to stick around long enough to find out why. He's a bit too woozy from the blood loss to sort out this mess anyway. Club's Deuce. Follow the red blood road. It's uncanny. This little guy is matching Finn's route every step of the way. He must know something. Finn decides he's got to take him out. But he can't get a clear shot. Too woozy, and with all that C4 under Deuce's hat, firing would be a bad idea. My God, he's thought of everything. Clearly dealing with a criminal mastermind here. You stop to admire this gorgeous clock. It is so pretty. Too bad it's not ticking like so many of the clocks in this place. Not that you can blame them. There are so many clocks in this mansion, it would obviously be impractical to make sure they all work properly. Oh look, a trail of blood. You think you'll start following it. Hart's boxcars. Waste exactly 4 hours on this tomfoolery. You hate time travel, 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 you hate time travel. You hate time travel, you hate time travel, you hate time travel, you hate time travel. Above, a spectator has appeared at the strike of 4 and has been giggling at your foolishness for a number of minutes. Clover would have been tickled to help you open this vault, at the cost of answering a few of his clever time riddles, needless to say. If only you'd thought to seek out his help first, rather than charging, like the silly brute you are, into this deadly trap of stable and not-so-stable time loops. Mostly unstable, really. These guys are way too dumb to maintain even elementary looping stability for more than a couple iterations. If you weren't so preoccupied, Clover would tell you that you could use Crowbar's help to pry anything out of a time loop, stable or otherwise. If you weren't so preoccupied, and if he weren't so dead. Stitch mutters to himself in his shop. He guesses eggs and biscuits are roughhousing again because the fabric of space-time is tearing something fierce on Lord English's Cairo overcoat. This sort of thing is exactly why he keeps a backup coat, and always leaves Stitch with one of them. Any gang does well to have an in-house doctor on hand, but if you deal in time travel, you better have a damn good tailor, too. Hart's boxcars. Call Spades for backup. You tell Slick to get his scrawny ass to the vault. It's goddamn bedlam down here. You tell him you asked Deuce for backup, but surprise, surprise, he's nowhere to be found. Big surprise, you tell him. You tell him that was sarcasm. He says he knows. Slick says he'll be right there. He'll see if he can round up Droog for support. Droog says Deuce is trailing Finn while he is trailing Deuce. He'll be there to help out boxcars as soon as he and Deuce take care of business with Stitch. Couldn't be simpler. Oh yeah, he also mentions he pumped Finn full of lead so you can cross him off the list. You roger all that.